Well, hello, how you doing there? I decided this morning that I would do a short video. It's not going to be too short. I don't know how to do short ones, but do a video of comparing prices on the same trip that I did back in 2019 and the same time, place, whatever, going from my home in North Carolina to Flagstaff, Arizona. I want to go back there next spring. Excuse me, have a cough coming down with a cold, I think. But I want to go back next spring. And I have had the question asked of me why I go, when I went cross country, why I did the same trip there and back. And there are several reasons. A lot of it has to do with money and saving money. And that's what this channel is about, to tell you how you can do this cheaply and what's best for you, but mainly how to do it cheaply. And you could be comfortable in the process. Well, from 2019 until 2023 right now, which is November, which is when I'm doing this, and I want to go at the end of May of 2024, at my age and a lot of people's age and condition, my body says we're not doing this. So I'm going to tell you the difference. I don't know if I can afford to go. That's the bottom line, and it's unfortunate. There's a difference in when I went before in 2019. The way Amtrak worked, and part of it is Amtrak's difference in how they're working now, and part of it is a little bit of inflation. Not going to blame all that. Not going to get into politics, but a little bit of inflation. I don't think inflation plays that big of a part in what I'm about to say. And yeah, when I went in 2009, May 2019 from North Carolina, and it went up to spent the night in Washington, D.C., because I thought if I took it a little bit slower, I stayed in the hostel there. If I took it a little bit slower, maybe my body would not wear out. It's tough going in coach. Everything I tell you how to go the cheapest is in coach. And so you've got to be trained. Your body has to be trained for sitting up for several days and maybe not getting a good night's sleep for several days too, which I have since learned. But the first time I went, I had learned I needed to make a stop. So I stopped and spent the night at a hostel in Washington, D.C., then went to Chicago, and from Chicago took the Southwest Chief to Flagstaff, Arizona. And that's just the way most of the major trains do. They start out in Chicago. A lot of people, I will say, fly to Chicago. If you do fly, I don't fly. I'm not a flyer. I get air sick. I get travel sick. That's another thing. But I do get air sick. So flying does not agree with me. But a lot of people do fly. And I was trying to do this the cheapest way. So the first time I did that, I took a rail pass. And back then, and the rail pass was like $500 for six stops. So it was easier, really easy to go. I think I had so I had 1, 2, 3, 1. Yeah, and I came straight back. So so that was that was my stop. That was $500. That is cheap. That is in coach. But back then, what happened was that's different now, is the dining. The dining car was regular food, regular cooked food, regular dining. If you were in coach, you could pay for a meal. And I always got lunch. I'm not going to pay like $25, $30 back then for a dinner, which was very, very good. All the food's very good. So I wanted a good meal every day. So I usually ate lunch in the dining car from coach and just paid them. And you were allowed to do that. You were also allowed to take a rail pass and bump it up, upgrade at any point to a roomette or bedroom. And I did that on the Empire Builder halfway back in Minot, North Dakota. Coming back, I got a sleeper car just halfway back from Portland to Chicago. And I just paid a few $100s extra. Didn't have to pay for the whole sleeper car. I just had to pay for that stretch of the trip. So I went the first time I went from North Carolina to Flagstaff, Arizona in May 2019. I stayed, it probably took close to 2 weeks, and it cost me around $1,200. And that included the hotel in Flagstaff, included all my meals. I did spend a little bit extra because I did spend $65 on the shuttle to Grand Canyon. I did buy a original photograph piece of artwork from a local photographer who had a shop there. So I did spend a little extra, but I'll say around $1,200 I was able to do that. Now, here we move up, and I'm getting older. I want to go again. 2024. So I figured, well, I can do, I'll just take it really slow this time. I'm not in a position to travel very long. I will just tell you that I've got long COVID, so I have to lie down. I do have to lie down in the middle of the day, and I usually can't travel more than an hour, whether I'm driving or not, doesn't matter. So I thought this is a really long trip. So if I break it up, and we'll try with the rail pass. Now you cannot upgrade unless they recently changed, and I hope they do change back at some point, upgrade on your rail pass to a bedroom. I would get the roomette, which is the cheapest kind of bedroom. I would do that if I could, but you can't do it. So what I was going to do is get the rail pass on the short legs, like go from North Carolina to Washington, D.C., spend a night. That would be one part of the leg of the rail pass, which is still cheaper than individual tickets. Have to ride in coach, get into business class on that train, spend the night, get a good night's sleep, be able to lie down as much as possible. Get on the train in Washington, D.C., go to Chicago. I was just thinking about at first I thought about just getting that train. I do think has roomettes. The train's leaving there in bedrooms, but I thought that would be too expensive, and I would just do the rail pass, go to Chicago, and then take then buy an extra ticket. The long trip that's going to take leaves like 2:30 in the afternoon and gets there the following day at 8 o'clock at night. When I did that before, the train was late and got there after 1 o'clock in the morning. That's not that long a train ride. It's not the longest train. The Southwest Chief is not the longest train. But yeah, so that's what I thought I would do. And so I looked at the price, and just the prices start for the bedrooms one way, over $800 one way. So we're talking, let's just round it out and say $1,000. So we're talking $2,000 just to get to a leg of the one of the legs of the train. So we have like $500. And if this doesn't show up, I have not had all my coffee this morning, so we're showing. I have a wayward cursor here on my computer. Doesn't want to cooperate. I'll do it this way. I'll get the remote off. Apologize for that if anything shows up. It's early in the morning. I don't have but one cup of coffee, but I don't wake up till the afternoon. So anyway, we're talking about price. So going my way, we're talking about $2,000 just to take the Southwest Chief there and back. We're talking about I'm rounding it out. We're talking about $500 for the rail pass to save money to get from Chicago back to North Carolina and so forth. So that's that is $2,500. Not talking about hotels. I've looked at Airbnbs, not going to stay in the same hotel where I stayed before. That probably has gone up in price. I paid around $120 back then. I did find some nice Airbnbs in town, $160 a night. I think it's fair for what you get for a whole house. Let's say stay 4 or 5 days. I want to stay close to a week, so 5 days. That was going to be, yeah, another $1,000. That doesn't include food. So we're upwards of $3,500, $4,000 on a trip that just a few years ago, the way I could do things, cost me $1,200. I don't think I can afford this trip. Now the food, it was worth the food when the dining car was fully operational, fully working. I have seen a recent video of someone who took one of the long trains. I don't think it was Southwest Chief, but they're still having the microwavable meals. They're not having the full dining experience still. So what you get, so when you get your roomette, I figure 3 meals a day and about all the snacks and coffee and water you could drink would make up for a lot of that. But now you're just having kind of microwavable meals and nowhere near what it was before. I don't think it includes snacks. I don't know what it includes, but I cannot eat 2 weeks worth of cafe car food. I wouldn't recommend that. So there you have it. So you have to add in extra food and extra restaurants and extra of this, that, and the other. I'm not slamming anybody. I'm just telling you the truth of how it is. Don't know what I'm going to title this. But yes, things have changed and prices have really gone up. And this is what I want to do with this channel. I notice when I see other people, and they can do what they want to, and they have nice routes and they have nice trips. And sometimes they tell you what didn't work and what did work. Most of the times they don't. They tell you all the great things going on. But I've not heard anybody, not to say they don't, but from what I've seen quite a few over the years. I don't see them telling you how much it costs. So yeah, you get a nice bedroom. Yeah, and that's the roomette, which is, you can watch my video about the roomette because I did measure it coming back on the Empire Builder. To have to stay in there. I would get the roomette so I wouldn't have to be, I could lie down and also wouldn't have to be around a lot of people because I don't want to get sick. I got sick on the Empire Builder. Not to discourage anybody from going. Most folks don't get sick, but it's a possibility because you are around other people. I prefer not to do that, and particularly the age I am. I usually end up getting, going into higher elevations, I usually end up getting swollen ankles and feet. It's edema. It's mountain sickness, what my doctor told me, elevation sickness, and I've had it all the way up to both my knees. I don't care to get into that situation again. So for me, that's what it is. That's why I traveled the way I did. I was trying to give you the cheapest way. The cheapest way is rail pass. If you can sit up for 4 days, do it. It's only $500 or so, round figures. Do it. If you can't and you're using your bedrooms and you've got to have food supplied for you. If you're in coach, you need to carry a lot of food. You're going to have to carry a lot of your food on the long distance section. There's cafe car, but you're going to get tired of the yogurt and muffins and hot dogs. They're good, but to eat that straight for 2 days is kind of much. So just want to give you a comparison. Just want to tell you the difference. That it's a whole lot has changed in the last few years since my first videos. But you can do it, but you got to be in good shape. You got to train for it. It is very tiring. That's why I stay when I go to my destination. I've learned to try to stay a week because I know I'm going to want to sleep for at least a day after I get back if I'm riding coach the whole way. I'm trying to go a different way route, but it is expensive. I did notice on the Southwest Chief for the week of May that I want to go. Now, this is November 2023. We're talking the end of May of 2024. It's already 20% full. Surprised me. It's already 20% full. So keep that in mind. If you want to go somewhere, like on Amtrak, you want to go somewhere next summer, you better go ahead and make your reservations. Just want to give you a comparison of the different prices and what you have to put up with or not put up with, the advantages, the disadvantages. If you do go coach, it's going to cost you a little more. If you do go coach, the full way on the rail pass, I would suggest getting a longer rail pass, pay a little more than the minimum one for $500 and take more stops and spend the night and be able to lie down. I don't know if that's going to be more. It can't be $1,000 when you add it all up. Maybe it is. I don't know. I did figure it up if I were to drive, which I can't do that, but just figuring up driving. Driving is the cheapest if you're not flying. Flying's the cheapest. If you want to go and want to fly from the East Coast to Flagstaff, Arizona, fly into Phoenix, then take the shuttle. The shuttle will go there. It's a 2-hour ride. The shuttle will take you into Flagstaff. That's the cheapest way to actually go and the fastest way to go. If you're a flyer, but you have to deal with the airports, airlines, and this, that, and the other. So that's all I wanted to say is that I was shocked to find out that it costs that much. I would say upwards of close to $5,000 for what I want to do, which is similar to what I did back in 2019, but just going a different way, as in getting a roomette. That roomette is extremely expensive for what the budget is for this channel, and might have to get a part-time job. Might have to work my way through the train, get off and work a few days and get back home. So just want to say that. Hope everything is well. Hope everybody's well. Did do that comparison and hope it helps. And if it does, you can like, share, subscribe. And, until next time, just safe travels.